If you're like me, you like Halo. You clicked on the video after all. But if we have anything else in common, I hope that we both enjoy getting really passionate about things we care about. It's very fun to get worked up and argue with your friends and just really care about a franchise or a piece of media or just really anything. And when you care that much about something, you really want it to succeed. Halo is definitely a game that I experience a lot of that with. It's a very popular game that a lot of people get passionate about. I grew up playing Halo games. Just like most of the player base, I have fond memories. Playing Halo Reach with my dad on the floor of the living room will always be one of my favorite memories I've shared with him growing up. And it was also one of the very first FPSs I ever played. I just recently joined the higher echelons of the PC community. I am one of you, one of the superior. I now look down on every console player and spit at my feet. You are all peasants, specks in my eyes, dust beneath my boot. So when I opened Steam and saw that the Master Chief Collection was on sale for $10, you know I snatched that up immediately. And then I decided the first thing I'm going to do with my brand new PC is play through every Halo game in order. Okay, just to be clear, so we're all on the same page, this was the very first time I have ever played Halo 2 or 3. So this will be ranking Halo CE to Halo Reach, and all the games that came out between the two. And I will warn you, brace yourself now, buckle down, take your blood medicine if you need to, because you're gonna get angry at me. And I don't really play Halo multiplayer, so that's not being ranked. This is strictly campaigns. I feel like I got some hot takes, because I've watched so many videos of other YouTubers making similar videos or breaking down Halo games or retrospectives, and I disagree with so much stuff that I see. And that's mainly the reason I'm making this video. I want to share my opinion. And I know it's, like I said earlier, it's fun getting passionate about dumb stuff that you care about. But yes, get ready for some hot takes, and if you agree with me, let's hug in the comments, bro. Thank you so much. And if I do make you mad, tell me where I went wrong, and let's get right into the video. Alright, let's just get them out of the way. I know I didn't really say I was going to include Halo 5, but I want to say just a couple things. It's at the bottom, everybody knows. It's the worst one, almost objectively. But it's a really good bouncing pad for a topic I do want to talk about. I have grown up mainly playing Halo Reach and Halo 4 and Halo 5. So when I hear the fan base saying all these negative things about the game and that Halo 4 and Halo 5 don't even feel like Halo, Bungie was the best, 343 is the worst thing that ever happened, also Infinite. But me, growing up playing mainly the 343 games, I didn't really understand people saying, oh, this doesn't feel like Halo, because I played the remake of Combat Evolved. And I know this may sound like blasphemy, but to me personally, I didn't feel that big of a difference. Now that I've played them in order, I do understand a lot more, but for the majority of complaints and the majority of things I hear, I really think it's exaggerated to Kingdom Come. The one thing I think can never even be exaggerated, I don't think it's possible to exaggerate it, is the mishandling that 343 has done to this franchise. The horrible decisions they've made, the blatant disrespect they've given to the fan base, the blatant disregard for our opinion. And I'm not even gonna mention the show! By not saying I'm not mentioning the show, I mentioned the show. So I guess I'll mention it in the heat of the moment because I'm mad about it. But just the one thing, I know it says it's a beaten horse, but I just have to say it. How can they introduce Blue Team and make that feel natural? I don't get it. I know there's the novels, I know there's all that other junk. Trying to introduce him with this team that he's been with before, that they're almost like childhood friends, they were in boot camp together. That's stupid. They really should have just said, hey, you've lost Cortana, Chief. We want to put you in a team, all right? You were kind of solo dolo, but without Cortana, you really couldn't have done most of the stuff you did. You can't really do too much alone. So we're going to assign you to a team. We want you to mentor these guys. We want them to be the next you. Even with Halo 4, I don't like the decision of making Cortana, turning her into the villain. I think that's the worst possible decision they've made. But no, we got what we got. Yeah. All right, the hot takes start off strong. I do not care for Combat Evolved.
What?
Did not care for The Godfather.
How can you even say that, Dad?
Didn't like it.
Peter, it's like the perfect movie.
This is what everyone always says. Whenever they say,
I'm sorry. And don't give me that stupid comment of, oh, someone couldn't beat the library. Shut up! I couldn't! You're right! I hated that level! I hated it! I'm trying not to yell. I'm sorry. I could not stand the library. That is definitely my least favorite level of every Halo game ever. It was just long, running through the flood of the exact same enemies in the exact same setting, repeat over and over again. It was literally the back rooms before the back rooms existed. No, this is the first Halo. It started it all. This game has not only influenced FPSs, but it has influenced games across the board. This game is remarkably influential, and I will give it that high honor. I enjoyed the game. I just don't think it holds up well. Me personally, I did not enjoy the gameplay that much. Compared to every other Halo game, I think it has the weakest gameplay. This is not a bad game. I'm just comparing it to every other Halo game, and I think this was the foundation that every other Halo game was built upon, and they just kept getting better and better. And I mean, I just gotta appreciate that, you know? Objectively, I feel like everyone should want the first of any series to be the worst. You know what I mean? Because you want it to constantly get better and better the longer it goes on. I did like this story. The flood was genuinely intimidating. I don't know if it's the majority, but just from my perspective of what I see on the internet, it seems like the majority of people didn't like the tab feature on PC where you can, I don't know if it was on console, but how you can switch between the original graphics and the more upgraded remastered graphics of the Halo Combat Evolved remake. I thought that was a cool gimmick. I mean, I don't think you should sell a game on that, but I think that it was a really cool gimmick, and I like switching between it. I think it had like 2 gags in it. I can't remember. The original Halo trilogy, there are genuine jokes and gags that made me giggle out loud. I was not expecting. One of the things I definitely wanted to talk about with you guys, and it's fitting since this is the first game, I am a big fan of the human guns. When it comes to weapon classes, I wonder what you guys prefer. Do you guys prefer the Covenant Needle ones, the Plasma ones, the UNSC ones, the Arbiter weapons, or whatever, the Promethean ones, sorry? Out of all the different kinds of Halo weapons, which ones do you guys like the most? But me personally, I really liked the human guns. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been like, oh man, I ain't using no alien weapons. Darn aliens. I'm using the born and bred American firearms. I'm using the UNSC. I love them. And I've just kind of been a little stubborn about it. I prefer the human ones. They're just so good and cool. And CE, that shotgun, oh baby, that shotgun's my sweetheart. I love her. She's the only reason I could make it bearable getting through the library, bro. That gun is beautiful. I hate how they nerfed it in later games. My God. Sorry if you guys are getting annoyed on how I'm bouncing around from topic to topic. This is, again, not scripted. I don't make videos like this normally. And this video is also taking forever.
Raider! I think he's right behind me, Raider! Raider, please stop! Raider, you're running a little too fast! Oh my God, Raider! He's right behind me! Oh my God, Raider!
But next up, we got Halo 4. This is the one that, besides Reach, I also grew up on mainly. The main 2 games that I played were Halo Reach and Halo 4 while I was in middle school. The first thing I will say is I do not like the armor change. I think the Halo Infinite armor is the best by far. I think it looks great. It's just a more updated version of his original, which I love. And of course, the main thing I hear everyone complain about is fighting the Promethean Knights. I think I'm saying that right. How they teleport around and how annoying that is. It may sound lame, but I play these games for the story and just to relax and have fun. This is not a challenge for me, so I play the game on normal or easy just to breeze through it and have fun. So I don't play it on legendary, so in my opinion, that does not factor into my opinion at all, so remember that. But Halo 4 still feels like Halo. I don't agree how people say Halo 4 doesn't feel anything like Halo. I don't think it feels nothing like Halo. It definitely still feels like Halo. It just, the changes and decisions they made for the majority were negative ones, and I completely stand by that and agree with that. I don't even really have a bias to it because it's still not anywhere close to my favorite Halo game now. I mean, it's second to the bottom. I didn't have that big of a problem with the Knights. I thought they were all right, but again, I'm not playing on legendary or anything like that. Headshotting them was pretty satisfying to me, and how they disintegrated was pretty satisfying. The things I actually hated, though, were those stupid dogs, bro. Those dogs were trash. They were not fun to fight at all. Everyone complains about the Knights. I complain about the stupid dog! How they can climb on the wall is cool, but how fast they can shoot, how accurate they are, how many there are. They are like the grunts of this game, and I hate them. Grunts are so much better than those stupid dogs. Those stupid mutts. Put them all down. I never want to see them in any Halo game ever again. Halo 4's story, I thought, starting to humanize Chief, I appreciated. I really liked how they tried to make it more detailed than just, you know, man who shoots aliens and goes Cortana. I just really thought, you know, trying to dive deeper into him was the right step. But fundamentally, the very first thing they did wrong, okay, I'll say two things they did wrong. When I booted up Halo 4 and I loaded into the campaign, played the first mission, the very first thing I noticed after, again, this is right after I played Halo 1, 2, and 3, how much Master Chief talks. He talks more in the first 15 minutes of Halo 4, I feel like, than Halo 1 through 3 combined. And to a point where it didn't really feel like him, because in Halo 1, 2, and 3, he's very quiet. He doesn't talk. Cortana does a lot of the talking for him. A lot of times Cortana's having one-sided conversations. Unless I'm a schizophrenic, bro was not really a conversationalist. But start of Halo 4, he's like, oh, Cortana, where do we go? Cortana this, Cortana that. Hey, Chief. Yes, Cortana. Chief. Yeah, I love you, Cortana. And again, I don't think it's bad, but I think they should have eased into it. I think they should have had him open up slowly throughout the game and not just immediately just talking every 3 seconds, confirming. I mean, he sounds like a soldier. I'm not saying it's like the worst thing ever, all right? But just to go from a guy who's so silent, which makes him feel a lot less human, to yapping a whole lot. Also, do not get me wrong, a lot of Chief's personality and charm comes from his one-liners. To give the Covenant back their bomb. I mean, that's a classic. Personally, my favorite quote of the entire series is, for a brick, he flew pretty good. To that point, he never really talked in actual gameplay, walking around, running around. Even when you were running around with the Arbiter would say stuff to Chief and he would just kind of ignore him. It just was genuinely jarring to me. It's one of those things that I didn't even notice until he started talking so much. I was like, dang, bro was actually yapping. And I don't really hear many people mention that, just from my perspective. I thought the story was fine. I thought him growing and then making him like larger was pretty darn cool. I remember vividly when I was younger finding out about the Halo 4 Legendary ending where you could see his eyes, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I say all that, but I do think that him talking more made him more human, made him more relatable, made him more interesting in my opinion. It made his relationship with Cortana way more relatable and like passionate, because his relationship with Cortana 1, 2, and 3, not really that strong of a bond. I feel like they got along. I mean, Halo 2, they're barely together. I don't really mesh with the bond they have as well. It's not as believable. But in Halo 4, with more dialogue, you get more interaction, and with more interaction, you get more like banter, and you can understand it a lot better. I'm missing the word I'm looking for here, but you get what I'm saying. I do wish the Flood came back in this game somehow. I feel like that was a big missed opportunity, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not going to say much more, but the second point, I mentioned there was 2 points I think fundamentally they went wrong. One was him talking way more just out of the blue. Again, that's a small thing to me personally, but 2 is a big thing. Making Cortana the villain was the worst decision they've made. I fundamentally disagree with the premise of that entirely. Spoilers for Halo 3. I mean, I'm assuming you played the game, obviously, but by the end of 3, Chief has pretty much lost everyone he started the journey with. He didn't really bond with them that strongly, but he clearly cared for them, and they were like brothers in arms. He lost pretty much his little crew he had, and the last thing he had was Cortana. That was the last bond he had left. Not only was that the case, that for the audience, the player, is the one main consistent throughout all the games, is their interaction. Even though it's a lot less in Halo 1 through 3 to 4, but it's still the main consistent thread. To me, it's honestly the heart of the story, is their bond, their interactions. Which Halo Infinite kind of doubles down on and realizes when they revert the evil Cortana thing and makes it just a complete rebooted new one. But making her the villain just completely destroys that heart and core of the series. Once you start building on a foundation that is bound to crumble, you get what you get. You get Halo 4 and 5. Also, one last thing, the rampancy, that's just stupid. An AI degenerating, I think that's so dumb. As I've been making this video, I realized I've had a lot more to say about each individual game. And if this video does well, and I see requests for it in the comments down below, I will definitely do that. So while we're at it, would you consider liking the video if you've gotten all the way to here, and maybe consider subscribing. I don't usually make video essays like this, but I'll make more in the future, and I made one on Elden Ring as well in a way, try to make it more funny, if anything. But maybe check out my channel, Thank you so much, and let's continue. Now we're on one of the bigger juggernauts of the series, Halo 2. A lot of people's favorite, to my understanding. And this game came out a year after I was born. I was 1 year old, not even one yet. I was about to turn 1 when this game released. So my expectations going into this game were pretty high. It's been hyped up quite a bit. The dual wielding, obviously, let's get that out of the way. Why'd they get rid of that? Bring that back.
How the f would you show me something if I couldn't have it then?
Like, come on, son, bring it back. Why would you downgrade your future games? Why would you add and introduce something so cool and then take it away? And I know some people are like, oh, they were trying to copy Call of Duty by adding dual wielding. Shut up. Go back to your corner, Jeremy. I like it. It's cool. Just because it's from Call of Duty doesn't mean it's inherently evil or bad. You can take good things from bad games and implement them in your game. That's a good thing. I'm pretty sure 90% of people like the dual wielding. Why did they take it away? Come on. Why did they take that away? I don't know. There's not a lot to say about this game. Everything that I want to say, I feel like has been said, but better. But I will try. His armor in this game looks great. Like I said, Halo Infinite is like, this right here is the best armor. Cutscenes look so good. If Halo CE, Halo 1, does a good job of setting up the Flood as this terrifying threat to the entire universe, then to me, Halo 2 does a great job of showing how the Covenant are unlike any alien race we've seen in media before. Because that's the thing, they're not one race. They're a covenant. They're a group of different aliens. They've unionized, and they're working together under the ban of religion and trying to use that power to take over the universe because of their extremist beliefs. They have 3 very ugly popes, and it's very strong commentary on real-world religion and how it can manipulate people. I myself am Christian. I wouldn't call myself religious because that term has just been dragged through the mud and I disagree with the fundamentals of it. I would just tell people, and I do tell people, that I have a relationship with God and I believe in what the Bible teaches. The Bible to me is the foundation for everything I do in life and is the foundation of my faith. I bring that up because one of the things I dislike the most is seeing how faith can be used to use people and manipulate people and even start wars or conflicts. And the game to me does a great job of showing that. And it feels very real how these prophets speak, how devoted these aliens are, how they yell things in battle like, for the only way, or whatever they say. I think that makes them so human in a way, but how different obviously they look and how they act and how their cultures are, they still keep the identity of an alien, and that there's different kinds. I think whoever decided on the Covenant being not just one alien race, not just shooting the same thing over and over again, coming up with an actual culture behind the enemy was such a good decision. And I think that is probably the biggest hook to me in these games. I'll quit babbling about it, but my point is it's very unique and very cool, and I think it's one of the biggest things that make Halo Halo that I feel like enough people don't point out. Introducing the Arbiter I think was very, very smart. I don't know, I think they hit it out of the ballpark with this game. I really like how the humans and elites, or at least that faction of elites, teamed up near the end of the game. I thought that was so cool, and I really wish we went deeper into that, but in Halo 4 it's basically just reversed, which I also think was another big blunder. What do you think of when you think about Halo 2? What do you think of when you think about Halo 1? I hope one of the first things that come to your mind, like me, is Sergeant Johnson. He's the best part of these games. He's my favorite character. Without him, Halo has so much less personality, in my opinion. He's so funny. He brings so much color to the table. He's so cool. I really wish he was in Halo 4, 5, and Infinite. I want another character like him. Maybe we can like bring his son in. I don't know, like a little Sergeant Johnson. Come on, Master Chief. Wow, you flew pretty good for a prick, sir. Like, I don't know, just something small. I won't do it again, I promise. But like, Sergeant Johnson is my favorite character by far, and I'm sure I'm not alone on that. He's so good. The writing on him is so sassy and just so great, man. I wish he didn't die. Oh, my boy, my sweetheart, my Shayla. Okay, now I'm not one for huge retcons. God knows Halo is full of retcons, but please, can we retcon his death? Please, I beg of you. The Hispanic guy from Halo Infinite's cool too. I like him. He's great, but he's no Sergeant Johnson. Come on, I want a Spartan Sergeant Johnson. Let's say he got out, someone dragged him out that we didn't see off screen, and then they took him to Halsey, and he was inducted into the Spartan program, and he became one, and then we get a Spartan Sergeant Johnson, and then we get a Spartan Sergeant Johnson game. Take my money now, please. I'm so serious. I'm not even joking. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. 343. If you hear me, Halo Studios, make it happen. Well, this is exactly why I don't make essay videos. Well, Halo 2, man, it was a great game. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It's definitely the middle dog. It ends on a cliffhanger, which I can't imagine ending on that cliffhanger when this game ends back in 2004 and you gotta wait a whole lot of time to play Halo 3. But it's crazy to me. I don't think the gameplay is the best in the series. I will continue to talk about that the more we rank games. You'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so far it's definitely the highest ranked one. It's the top dog right now. So far, let's go over the rankings. Ranking in last place is Halo 5, then Halo 4, then Halo CE, and in first place right now is Halo 2.
Take my advice, rookie. You ever fall for a woman? Make sure she's got balls.
That's a little gay.
Hold on.
Now, the newest contender is Halo ODST. This is another game I did play when I was very young, and I played it with my father. For a long time, I genuinely thought that was Halo 3, and I was very confused, as was my father. It wasn't until about a year or two later after we got it, and I realized it was not actually Halo 3. And don't call me stupid, I didn't really have internet access back then, so I couldn't really just look stuff up willy-nilly. Halo ODST, a game you can play literally in just like a few hours. Very short. I hear a lot of people say it should have been DLC, but they turned it into a full game. I understand. It was great. I enjoyed it. The vibes are great. The music's great. Characters are great. Introduces one of the best background characters, Buck, next to Sergeant Johnson. Buck's so cool. I like how every time they add like a spin-off title, that at least the ones I've played, it kind of always comes back to the story of Master Chief and helping him in some way, and it really shows like how everything is not just Master Chief saving everyone single-handedly. A lot of it is humans coming together and working hard. It's a group effort kind of thing. Friendship is magic and all that. But yeah, I really don't have a lot to say about this game. It's Halo again, but you're an ODST. If I could cosplay anything from Halo, I would love it to be an ODST trooper. I think their helmets and outfit and everything about them is super cool. All black is always nice. I think Halo should try again and revisit some of their side projects, like make another spin-off and stuff like that. I think it'd be helpful, maybe stepping away from Master Chief, just for maybe a game or two would be a little bit of a breather. Maybe give the idea to third-party studios, maybe let them pitch something along those lines would be great. Get some more people in the table, because when you only hearing your own thoughts, you're not gonna really come up with anything new. You know what I mean? You gotta bounce ideas. Two heads are better than one after all. And speaking of that, please comment in the video. I'm begging for interaction. Please, please, please. Pretty darn good. I like how much personality each character has, but again, it is very short. And I'm a romance head. I love rom-com anime. I love romance a lot, but the romance in that game kinda cheeks. I will rank it above CE, but below Halo 2. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. I think a lot of people clicked on the video to hear what I say, or what this random bud thinks about Halo Reach. Do I agree with you? Do I disagree with you? I gotta say, this game is absolute garbage. The worst overrated Halo game in the history of Halo games. I genuinely cannot believe this game has the acclaim and nostalgia that I'm kidding. Don't click off the video. I'm joking. I'm obviously joking. Yes, it's great. Like I said, I grew up on Halo Reach mainly. It's great. Firefight with my dad on the couch. Peak days, man. I'm a little biased. And if you're someone who has the Halo Reach Collector's Edition with the Statue of Nobility, and you want to show your support for a small YouTuber, then I think we can figure something out. You know what I mean? Also, the atmosphere of this game, the tacticalness of this game, great. But I do have some things to say that might make you mad if you're a Halo Reach fan. I apologize for my lack of vocabulary skills, but I have no other word that comes to mind to describe the story. I feel like my biggest criticism is the story feels a little shallow. And I don't mean that as in like shallow, like, oh, it's not very thought out, or it's just not that deep of a game. Not exactly what I mean. What I mean is it's supposed to be this really deep story of, or not deep story, but a very tragic story. And it doesn't really give you a lot of time to get to know these characters. And I know it's not a novel. I know it's not a movie, so you're not going to like spend time as you would in like a TV show or something, but it's still a video game. It's a story video game. You could still do it. And I don't know what the standards were back then. I still think the game is great, and I still think it does a decent job in a short amount of time. But this game, I genuinely feel like could have been possibly my favorite game of all time if it was just longer. If we got to spend a lot more time with this team before they all die, spoiler alert, they all die, I think that this game could have gone down as one of the best games of all time. Noble Team is my favorite team in all of Halo lore that I know of, and it's really sucks that this was the last game Bungie made because they went out with such a bang, and this has the best Halo soundtrack in my opinion by far. I mean, listen, the set pieces, location, voice acting, all superb. The atmosphere of this game is unmatched compared to any other Halo game. The aura, the setting, the background art, like this game has so much 2D background art that I don't see people mention. Even in cutscenes, they kind of have a 3D like facade and then it goes into 2D in the background. And when you're walking around the map and you can look up and see some breathtaking space stuff, it's just so cool, and it really makes you feel like you're not on Earth. Because sometimes other Halo games, the planet you're on, it kind of just feels like you're on planet A, planet B, you're on Jungle Planet, you're in Desert Planet, you're in Gray Rock Planet. Halo Reach was one of the first times in Halo I feel like they really dived and tried to make the planet not feel like Earth. This game has hours and hours and hours of content you can watch about people breaking it down, talking about retrospectives, breaking down lore, all kinds of stuff. And if you haven't seen a lot of it, I would encourage you to, because it's great. I do think the game is slightly overrated. People talk about this game like it's one of the best games of all time. I don't think it earns that title, mainly because of the length. I do slightly think the game is overrated because over time it's gotten really glazed. It's expectations of people going into it now I feel like would be pretty high. If you hear what I hear on the internet, just some of the ways I hear people describe this game, they act like it's like Elden Ring level, and it's just not. I say all that and it's still the second best Halo game. Because we all know, number one is Halo 3. Let's go, baby. Yes, Halo 3, by far my favorite. It is so good. Halo 3, at the end of Halo 3, I stood up from my desk. I did the absolute cinnamon pose, and I just started clapping. I was like, bro, that was great. That was actually great. And then it was so good. Best combat. Halo 3 had the best combat. Best maps. Best gameplay. The ending was great. I really want a Halo 3 remake. Why we haven't gotten that is beyond me. But I guess sadly, we do have to talk about my Shayla dying. Sergeant Johnson, my beloved, why must you leave me?
I'm getting you out of here.
No, you're not. Send me out with a bang.
I always was wondering while playing through these games again. I played Halo 2 and 3 the first time, this playthrough, this go around, and I was like, man, why isn't Sergeant Johnson in Halo 4 and 5? And I kind of just, in the back of my mind, I was like, because he probably dies. But in my soul, I was like, no, I can't believe it. So I just suppressed it. I was like, no, he has to be alive. He could have just retired. Yeah, he retired, yeah. And then that stupid light bulb. God, I hate that guy. Because I actually started to like him. I was like, hey, he's cool. He's helping us now. I thought that was really cool. I was like, hey, buddy's like, oh, I lost my purpose. So now I'll just help you guys. It's like, oh, sweet. But the moment he was about to get his purpose back, he started tweaking out, to say the least. I mean, I kind of yapped a lot, I feel like, about the other games compared to Halo 3. I just think it's great. I just think it was hype. Best gameplay. Best levels. Arbiter, Chief, relationship sick. I mean, I just like what I like. The heart wants what the heart wants. And if you can see at the bottom of the list, I also have not played the ones at the bottom, so I can't really rate those, but I'll say a little bit about Halo Infinite, I guess. Halo Infinite, great. I think it's the best story in all of Halo, actually. I think it has the best gameplay, that's for sure, and you guys hate Halo Infinite, you're a stupid dumbhead idiot, and you should totally subscribe to my channel because you have good taste. No, that's not how... I'm sorry, just leave.
Hi,